The Howey test applies to a term called investment contract that was in the securities laws back in the 30s, and the Supreme Court construed that in the case of orange groves and oranges, and investors in that, whether or not they had a security or not. And so that's the law of the land as far as investment contract definition goes. But in that there have been, over the last 80 years, a number of applications of that. But it's, in the 21st century now, we have, at the SEC, we have authority that we can use to help construe that and develop that farther in here into the 21st century. So we aim to do that. So not every crypto asset is an investment contract or therefore security, and we're out to give people certainty in that with good rules that give them the guardrails to innovate and to be able to take things to market. That's what's the beauty in the PWG report. So we've been collaborating with our fellow regulators and the bank regulators and the CFTC and Treasury to develop this report, the DOJ as well, and Commerce. So So what we have to do is have a system that it provides certainty. But by that, that could have overlapping jurisdiction, but we have to have flexibility for market participants and people who are innovating so that they know that they're not going to get caught in that trap, which is too often what they've had to do here in the past several years. So we will work with Congress. They just passed and enacted the Genius Act here a couple of weeks ago, and now they're working on what's called the Clarity Act that the House has passed. I commend them for doing that, and now it's in the Senate, and the senators will be addressing those issues, and there'll be a back and forth, but we're working with them and look forward to having a system that makes sense for this budding technology. Well, thanks for that question. So it is a new day at the SEC, and we are picking up the gauntlet and the challenge that President Trump has laid down to make America, the crypto capital of the world, and to have U.S. technology basically running the world running on U.S. technology. So there are a lot of ways that we can help do that, and that is provide certainty and regulatory certainty and good rules that are fit for purpose for the crypto industry, so that innovators know how to innovate and investors know what they're investing in, and that everybody can have certainty so that it's on a firm foundation.
Is there ever too much Bitcoin for you to own? Like if you could own all of it, would you?
I don't think we'll get all of it. I don't think in the range of 3 to 5 or 3 to 7% is too much. BlackRock has got more than us.
I just wonder. I was thinking about the mental exercise of if you could actually own all of it. Like if you would even, bless you, if you would want it.
Well, we started and we had very little, and Bitcoin was 10,000, and now Bitcoin's more than 100,000, and 97% of the Bitcoin is worth 10 times as much, and somebody else, not us, has it. Right. So as a practical matter, what we're doing is we're monetizing and powering up this.
I totally get it. I just mean, if you owned all of it, would that change the entire behavior of Bitcoin?
Yeah, we wouldn't want to own all of it.
We
want everybody else to have their piece.
Too.
The nice thing there is there's 160 companies that are capitalizing on Bitcoin in the public market, up from about 60 last year. So the Bitcoin treasury movement's exploding. And companies like MetaPlanet in Japan and Capital B in France and Smarter Web in the UK. And then there's a raft of them in the US, Anthony Pompliano's company, and 21. They're all capitalizing. The big idea is I take digital capital, I issue digital credit, and a digital credit instrument can either be longer duration or it can be higher performance. We're offering 9% dividend yield with Stretch. The average money market's 4.2% dividend yield. No one would ever want to give a 9% perpetual yield in a bond that's backed by real estate or backed by gold or backed by any conventional fiat asset. But we're investing in Bitcoin, and my 20-year forecast for Bitcoin is 30% a year ARR. So it's easy for us.
Sort of horrific events if there was a terrible downside pullback. In the past, when we've seen the move from, take your pick, what we go 75 back to 17, I think, not too long, or 65 back to 17. Are there nights where you're pacing and not sleeping and wondering about?
We lived through the $66,000 to $16,000 drawdown, so we have a PhD in leverage. There's three types of leverage. There's short duration margin leverage, where you mark.
You had some, didn't you?
We had a Silvergate loan. The bank failed, and so you don't want short-term margin leverage.
Yeah.
The second type of leverage is long or mid-duration bond leverage. That's better, but it's not great. We had some of that, and we decided to remove that. And we've got some convertible bonds now. There's sort of that. The best leverage we've discovered is equity leverage. So issue preferred equity that never comes due, right? The principal never comes due.
Exactly.
And we've done $6 billion plus of that financing this year. That's strike, stride, strife, and stretch. So what I think is that if you're using preferred equity, you can lever up 30, 40, 50% because the principal never comes due. If you're using bonds, you want to be 20 to 30% because that way you can take an 80% drawdown. If you are in margin leverage, you just don't want to go there at all. And that's normally what the retail does. Is the person on the other side of that trade?
You know, they know about sanctions. I know better than anybody about sanctions and tariffs and everything else. I don't know if that has any effect, but we're going to do it.
States, take a look at what the president is tweeting here in this war of words ongoing between him and the number 2 official in Russia, Medvedev. The two have been jousting verbally over the past couple of days about the president's request for Russia to end the war in Ukraine. Medvedev responded to that by saying that President Trump should watch his words, given that the Russian government possesses Soviet nuclear weapons technology. President of the United States posting this on social media just a short time ago. He says, based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So the president of the United States saying that this war of words between himself and Medvedev has now sort of left the world of sort of back and forth verbal combat into now a physical, real world response in which the president is moving nuclear submarines. The president doesn't say in this social media post where those nuclear submarines are going, what action they're prepared to take. But obviously, when you start entering the real world and talking about nuclear submarines, that gets a lot of people's attention.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And you know I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have the SEC ready to set the rules for crypto. And most cryptos are not securities. And we're going to start seeing these altcoin ETFs get approved going towards the end of the year. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have Michael Saylor's blueprint we know won't end well. But remember why it's being done. Don't forget the big banks have their hands all over Michael Saylor. And all this money that would have went into cash, into treasuries, are moving into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and these other cryptos. So it's taking money out of the physical world into the virtual world, the magic money. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And then, guys, we have Trump going nuclear. Moves 2 nuclear subs near Russia. Says that he's going to sanction Russia, but he knows that it's not going to affect them. Now, remember, guys, the BRICS, especially China and Russia, have been getting off the dollar since 2014. Sanctions are not going to bother them, not one bit. But don't forget, guys, this is a plan and moves in phases. All you have to do is look at the BRICS and the Belt and Road. And then we get jobs numbers, which came out horrible for 2 straight months. And now Trump wants to fire the commissioner of labor statistics. And that's because he knows layoffs are about to get even worse. because these corporations are going to be forced to lay off due to tariffs, and it's going to be the rise of the machines. But of course, while the machines are rising, they wanted to stay quiet, keep it away from mainstream media just long enough to get this fourth industrial revolution started. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. We have these robots, of course, entertaining the people right now, but eventually these robots are going to replace the same humans that they're entertaining. And we have Roblox looking at starting a dating platform. Yes, guys, you can't make this stuff up. And that's the reason why you have to keep your kids away from things like this. Or if they're on it, you're watching them 24/7. Because we are living in some crazy times. And Andrew pointed out that Roblox is the closest thing to the metaverse. When we look at America, it definitely is. Because remember, in the metaverse, they want you to be anything you want to be. With these NFTs, you create anything, and that's what you are in the virtual world. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows, when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
I felt like I was watching, like I'm being punked or in the Onion, the parody satire video. I can't believe what I just saw. I mean, look, I'm not a fan of some government statistics. You just have to look historically at their inflation numbers or what they say healthcare inflation is. I'm not a fan of the way Fed handled COVID. I think it widened the gap between the rich and the poor and created a big asset bubble. But this is not healthy. We can't have a set of numbers come out and fire somebody that served under numerous administrations in various roles because you don't like the numbers. Plus, Trump wants Powell to cut rates. These are the kind of statistics that the market today is telling us. The bond market is saying we went from a 30% chance Powell's going to cut rate to more than 50%. That's why the stock market's reacting negatively. These things are intertwined. I mean, he's getting what he wants, and he just it's unbelievable.
Well, and it is unbelievable. And
Absolutely, Brian. We're just hearing from President Trump via Truth Social that he is firing the Commissioner of Labor Statistics. He says effective immediately. This, of course, coming after the jobs report this morning showed lower than expected job growth for the previous month, as well as major downward revisions for the past two. So the president focusing on those revisions in particular in this Truth Social post, saying he's firing Dr. Erica McIntyre for the Commissioner of Labor Statistics because she was a Biden appointee. She was appointed to her job in January 2024. He says this is the same Bureau of Labor Statistics that overstated the jobs growth in March 2024 by approximately 818,000, and then again right before the 2024 presidential election. He says these were records. No one can be that wrong. We need accurate jobs numbers. Goes on to say, I have directed my team to fire this Biden political appointee immediately. She will be replaced with someone much more competent and qualified. Important numbers like these must be fair and accurate. They can't be manipulated for political purposes. He says much more about McIntyre and about the revisions that we saw this morning, Brian. And towards the end of this very long post, he goes on to say, Jerome, quote, too late Powell should also be put out to pasture. So again, returning to those strong words for Jerome Powell here, Brian. But I want to emphasize a major, major move here by the president. Those jobs numbers that come out every month, yes, they are subject to revisions. These are larger than normal revisions that we saw this morning. That's part of what you've seen the market reacting to all day. But when it comes to government statistics and the jobs numbers in particular, the independence of these agencies and the accuracy of the numbers has always been paramount. So accusing these agencies of politically manipulating the numbers is a major step here. A little bit of background on McIntyre. Yes, she was appointed to this position by President Biden in January 2024. But she's also a labor economist who served over 20 years in the federal government. She's held positions at the U.S. Census Bureau, the Executive Office of the President, and the Department of Treasury as well. So not someone who was just put in there at the end of Biden's term that was a stranger to government, more than 20 years in government. Brian, now the president saying he's firing her effectively.
Yeah, I think there's sort of a few different key themes. Firstly, yeah, you've got the government officials that are here. We had Premier Li Qiang, for instance, speaking on Saturday, saying that China can play a key role in terms of global AI governance. But then also, I mean, this is the biggest event for AI in China this year. So it's also a really big opportunity for companies to show off their AI innovations. But as you said, humanoid robots, a very key focus. And we're actually in Unitree's ring. This is one of the most promising robotics companies in China. But just take a look at what's happening here, because this is a robot boxing match that's just got underway. So this has been happening all weekend. All sorts of different robots that are getting in the ring. We've got green helmet here against black helmet. Yesterday I had my money on green helmet, but today I'm not sure who's going to really win out of this. The point is, though, is that yes, this maybe looks like it's just entertainment, and of course there is that sort of blending of tech and entertainment, but it's an important revenue stream for these companies as well, because they're very much focused on commercialization. We just spoke with Tim Wong, for instance, from Monolith Management, talking about how there actually might end up being a need for consolidation in the humanoid robots industry as well, just given that you've got so many companies that are in this space. But again, I mean, this is certainly a huge attraction for the...
Well, you're the closest thing to the real version of the metaverse. My question before we go is, I saw something where you said recently that you could imagine a dating feature where people are paying effectively. I mean, this would, where people would be. I mean, you talked about communicating and chatting, but if people are going to start paying to have a dating feature, there could be all sorts of features like that, I would imagine, over time.
Yeah, and once again, this one obviously creates a lot of excitement in the news without fully explaining it. Look, we have ID requirements for 17 and up experiences. We're very thoughtful about who can communicate with who. But for those users who we really know are 17 and up, there's an opportunity for people to connect on the platform.
Why not 18 or up?
You know, the way we would do dating is the way we do things in every other country, which is what is the typical norms in a country. So if we decided a dating app was 18 and up, we'd of course do it that way.
Okay. Well, 18 is legal.
I can think of some countries. You don't do it for 13. I don't think, David. Just saying.
I don't think we would ever have a 13 and up dating app in any country anywhere in the world, but appreciate your guidance on that. There's 5 experiences right now on Roblox that have 10 million people playing them every day. So it's part of our vision, which we've been saying. We believe there's an opportunity to reinvent how games are created. And we think someday 10% of global gaming content will run on Roblox.
So going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tanya save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tanya save New York. Long COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tanya goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.